So if you've watched my other yoga videos this week, I've been trying to introduce you to a couple different styles of yoga. And the style I'm going to introduce you to today is called yin yoga. And you've all probably heard of yin yang, you've heard that tossed around out there. But basically what it is yin is a quiet, holding style of yoga where we relax and stretch our muscles just a little bit, just to the point where we feel a nice relaxing stretch, all right? So in yin, the hardest part of yin is to try not to over-engage your muscles like you do when you're in an Ashtanga style workout or a power style workout where you're really working to engage the muscle and strengthen it. But it's not a completely relaxed, no movement style either. That's a restorative style, and I will film a class showing that style as well. But in yin yoga, we're going to get into some postures, and once we're in the posture, you're going to take your body to, if you were saying the stretch was on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most engaged, you want to go to about a 5. So you're going to get into the posture, find the edge where you're just feeling a little stretch, but you can stay very relaxed in it, and then you're going to hold that posture for 3 to 5 minutes. Now that's the hard part. Once you get your body into a posture and you find the right level of engagement, it's holding still and being still for 3 to 5 minutes. In our culture, we're such a go, 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 push, 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 work, 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 run, run, run culture. And especially if you're an A-type personality like me, sometimes it's hard to just sit and be still. Just quiet your body. And once your body is quiet, then the mind starts going. And it's hard to still and quiet your mind. This kind of a practice can be just as hard or harder for some personalities than a very vigorous cardio workout or a weight workout. But it's very important to rest your body, restore your body, and learn to let go of tensions and stuff that's not serving you in your body, as well as quieting your mind. So this is a really, really good introduction in taking it from the physical to the mental. So join me in this restorative, well, I'm not going to say restorative. Restorative and yin yoga are two different styles. A yin yoga practice today, where we will practice finding just the very edge of the stretch, relaxing into it, letting go of tensions in our body, and starting to be able to quiet your mind. So as thoughts come into your mind, and they will because that's who we are, we're humans and that's what our minds do, just try to focus on the breath. Come back to the breath, and I'll guide you through that. If you're interested in taking this further and going into the mindful practice, there are going to be some great things coming where I can introduce you to that, and that's my goal, because I want us to be healthy physically, mentally, and spiritually. So we take all of these things together to make our whole self. So today, join me. I've got some soothing ocean sounds playing, a little white noise, all right? That's what I like to do when I do this style of practice. Either have very, very quiet. I like to pretend I'm at the ocean. I live in Wyoming where there is no such thing, and it's cold most of the time. So I like to take myself to the sand and to the ocean. So have some props handy. The thing about this practice is you've got to be able to be comfortable. So I have a block at the top of my mat, a couple blocks. I've got a blanket going across my mat here so that I can pad up my knees. I've got several props here. Now you can buy a lot of fancy yoga props. My favorite thing to use is a rolled up sleeping bag. You can buy yoga bolsters. They're pretty and they're nice. But if you don't have those and you don't have the money, grab a rolled up sleeping bag, nice soft blankets, and stacks of pillows. So if you can stack a bunch of pillows from your couch or even from your bed, those work nicely. You're going to want to have some of those. And then for the end, Shavasana practice, I like a nice big soft warm blanket, and I also like, this is just a small like rice bag that you can heat, but I like to use it for an eye pillow, all right? If you have an eye pillow or a blindfold, you can grab something like that as well. So, I think we'll get right into this. So get lots of props because you want to be able to be comfortable. So it's important that you have more than less because you don't want to have to get up out of your practice and go get something if you need it. So get a lot of stuff. You want to be able to make yourself comfortable while you hold these postures. All right. So I think we'll begin here. Now be ready because we are going to hold these postures, like I said, about 3 minutes. Now 3 to 5 minutes is actually optimal, but today we're going to just do about 3 minutes in each posture. So let's start with just warming up the body just a little bit. I'm going to come to all fours here. I've got this blanket under my knees so I'm nice and comfy. I've got a nice long spine, okay? And we'll just start with some inhales, looking up into cow. And exhale, tuck and roll into cat. Go with the feel of the ocean like a wave. Inhale. Go to the ocean, guys. Exhale. Start to quiet your mind. Inhale. All that stuff you've got to do later today will still be there later today. Exhale. Take a minute for you. Inhale. And exhale. So our very first posture is going to be child's pose. So, wide knees, feet come together. I'm going to have some blocks out front here. Now you can absolutely pad this up with a whole bunch of props like this. This is a really nice way to do it. That's a little high. I'm going to have the pillows coming kind of right between my knees here, taking my body forward. Then I'm going to rest my head right here on these blocks. Okay? I want a little stretch in my arms, so I'm going to take my arms out in front and then settle back here. Okay? So that I feel just to the edge of the stretch. I'm going to put my face down. Now move around and get all the wiggles out and get yourself ready so that once you get into the posture and you get to the edge of the stretch, you can hold absolutely still. Now find the breath. Once you're in the posture where you want to be, find the breath. And just keep coming back to the breath. Let go of any tension in your body that you might find you're holding on to. Don't engage your muscles. So for me, I hold a lot of tension in my hips. I find myself clenching my hips. Also, another place is tensing your shoulders, raising your shoulders, and the other place is clenching your jaw. So let go of all those tension places. Do a body scan. If you're holding tension in any of those places, relax and let go. All right, slowly just start to move a little bit. We're going to push up out of this child's pose. Coming up. We're going to go into a little more of an intense stretch here. Puppy pose. It's very similar to what we just did, but we're going to get a little more of a stretch here in the upper back and the top of the back of the neck. So you're going to bring your hips up over your knees and really, really reach out and dip the chest into the mat. Now, you want to find the level where you're stretching, but it doesn't hurt and it's not super uncomfortable. So I'm going to start as deep as I can and then come up out of it to find that 5 because I don't want to be at a 10. Okay, so normally you would really press the chest down here with your head all the way down, hips high. Okay, that's puppy pose. But I don't want to go that deeply into it. So how I'm going to adjust is I'm going to put a block under my head here. So I'm not quite as down into it, and that's still a little deep. I want to be at about a 5. All right, there we go. So once I find the stretch, and again, then you can play with coming all the way down. Just make sure your hips are up, and then you're dipping the chin. I need to come a little bit farther down. All right. So you're getting a big stretch in the arm. But again, find your level. You don't want to be I'm still not finding it. I don't want to be that deep into it. So play with it. You kind of have to play with it. That's better. Once you find that, then we're going to just hold it. And again, once you get in the posture, settle in, find the level of the stretch that you want to be in, and then breath. Come to the breath. Just breathe. Quiet the mind. Let go of the tension. breathing, guys, and just enjoy this last little bit of this stretch. You should just be at the edge at a 5. Letting go of tension, just stretching a little bit. Finding the breath. Alright, so slowly just walk yourself up out of that. And we'll sink back into a child's pose, just to rinse that out a little bit. And I like to move side to side after a big hold of a stretch. It just kind of, like I said, rinses and resets my body. Maybe take a couple cat-cows. Inhale. Exhale. Feels good. Inhale. Exhale. Big, deep, relaxing breaths. Inhale. And exhale. All right. Setting up for the next stretch. Again, I'm going to have a block or 2 handy here. You could also do this with a cushion. In fact, I'll show this one with a cushion or a pillow. So this next one is a little bit more into the back of the shoulder. So again, with hips high over the knees, on all 4s. I'm going to send my left hand out. I'm going to do it this way so you can see it this direction first. Then I'm going to send that arm under, thread the needle, coming under this way, keeping my hips high and above my knees. Then I'm going to settle down into lying into the back of my shoulder. This arm is tented up right here, holding me up, okay? So you can see it's holding me up like this. And then I adjust the tension of the stretch by how deeply I let myself lay into this shoulder, okay? So if I really hold myself up with my tented arm, it's less intense. So I want to find that edge. So I'm going to let myself down, and again, lots of pillows, blankets, whatever you want here. If you want to lay flat on the ground, that's fine. So I'm going to let myself down in to where I'm at about a 5. Then once you find that, then you're going to go ahead, find your breath, settle in, and hold the posture. Are you at the beach yet? Breathe. Listen. Just quiet your mind, quiet your body. Let yourself stretch and relax. Okay, slowly press on up out of that. Take the arm out, and again, take a little rinse. Maybe you want to just move your body forward and back. Maybe you want to come back and just settle back in a child's pose. Maybe you want to take some cat-cows. Just find a way to just rinse and reset before we do the other side. Now observe. Also observe, how does that shoulder feel in comparison to the side you haven't stretched? There's no right or wrong answer. You might feel a difference, and you might not. This is about you. This is about your practice and what your body feels. This isn't about whether you're doing it right or doing it perfectly. There is none of that. No judgment, no self-judgment. Just do your best and be you. All right, so we'll set up for the other side. So again, I'm getting my hips up over my knees, coming out to a T, and then threading that under. Now, on this side, you may be able to see a little better how I tent up this hand right here to lay into my shoulder. All right, so the higher I push, and the more cushion I get up under my head, the less the intensity of the stretch in the back of my shoulder right here. So play with it and find the level. See, the less I push, and then I can, if I really want to lay into it, I can totally remove that. And that's really intense because all the weight's on that shoulder. So be really careful, especially if you have shoulder issues, okay? Just find the level of the stretch for you where you're about at a 5. Then release the tension in the rest of your body. Watch that jaw. Don't clench your jaw. Don't clench your hips. Try not to engage the muscles in the rest of your body. So once you've found your level, then we're just going to settle into it and breathe. Find the breath. Find the quiet. So you should just be feeling just the edge of the stretch. If you're feeling nothing, you probably need to go deeper. And if you're really feeling too much, you need to come out of it a little bit. And don't be afraid to wiggle around a little bit until you find it, okay? You might have to adjust, so adjust and then find it. Find the 5, and then settle it. Focus on the breath. Just be. Good. Gently press on up and come out of that. Gently unwind. And again, rinse. Find some gentle movement to rinse that out. And once more, observe. Observe. How do the shoulders feel now? The same? Different? Does one feel different than the other? No judgment, it's just observing. What is it? It is what it is. Good. Maybe you want to just sit back in child's pose for a second. That feels good to me, but you find what feels good to you. Next one. For this next one, I'm going to sit up on my knees, but you can absolutely come into just a seated, cross-legged, easy seat, okay? I suggest on a cushion, okay? If you're going to sit up like I am, then I am going to, I'm going to turn this way so you can see. I've got my knees on this blanket. I'm going to sit back. Okay? Make sure that your shins are parallel with your thigh bones. Okay? You don't want to be splayed out like this. That's not good for your hips or your knees. But by sitting up on my knees and sitting back just a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of a stretch here on my quad. It's not much at all, because the focus is still going to be up here in my upper body. And you can raise this as much or as little as you want by adding blocks or cushions, okay? So I'm gonna sit up like this, relax my shoulders. Next posture, I'm just going to let my head fall to my right shoulder, okay? Very gently, let it fall. I'm going to take my right hand and place it here right on my ear, and then gently pull until I find the stretch. So again, we're finding the edge, and then you can play with where you need the stretch by changing the angle of your chin. So looking up, or looking down, okay, mine's right there. So I don't want it to hurt, but I do want it to stretch. Right at about a 5, and I'm feeling this right here because I've been sleeping a little awkwardly, I think, and I've got a little bit of a stiff neck. Okay, so you play with that and find your edge and your point, and then become still. Don't hold tension in your jaw or your shoulders or your hips. Do a quick body scan. Make sure you're not tensing up your hips or tensing up your shoulders or clenching with your teeth. Find the point and relax and breathe. Try to quiet your mind. Those thoughts are going to come and go. It's absolutely normal. No judgment there either. Just say, okay, think about that later. Come back to the breath. Come back to the feel. Come back to the observation of what's going on right here, right now. Okay, take a big inhale. And then just slowly release your arm and raise your head on the exhale. Good. Okay, and maybe you want to come up out of the seat you've been in for a second, tuck your toes, move around a little. I'm going to come up high for a second, and then I'm just going to do a little rinse by just rolling my chin across my chest, side to side. And then again, observing, does one side feel different? Maybe, maybe not. All right. I'm going to settle back down into my seat. And again, we're going to find that other side. Okay, and then we're going to go right into the other side. So I'm going to let my head fall gently to the other side. Okay, once it's there, I'm going to reach up, this time with my left hand, and grab my right ear. And then from there, I'm going to play with the angle. Find the edge, and find the breath. Settle in. Make sure you're not tensing up the other shoulder. So you're stretching this one, don't tense up the other one. Don't clench your jaw, don't clench your hips, don't clench your thighs. Come to the 5, on a scale of 1 to 10, you want to be at about a 5. Find the breath. Let the thoughts go. Find a place to be. You know, I told you I'm listening to ocean sounds here because that's where my happy place is. Well, maybe your happy place is the mountains with a stream, or a quiet spot in your yard or garden, or under a favorite tree. Maybe it's a favorite building. Go to where you can find peace. And just breathe. All right, slowly take a big inhale. And on the exhale, release the hand and let the head and come on up slowly. And take a rinse, just do some head rolls. Maybe back, don't go back too far, don't overarch that cervical spine. Come on up out of my seat here, releasing the stretch that I've had going there. You can do whatever you want down there with your low body. If you were sitting cross-legged, maybe you want to release that. Just observe. All right, next. We've done our upper body, okay? Shoulders, neck. Really quick before we move into hips and lower body, let's just stretch those wrists. So turning your hands so that your fingers are facing you. Just lean forward a little bit into that wrist and then sit your hips back, peeling the heel of the hand up as you go. Okay? We're not going to hold this one as long. We're just going to get a little stretch here. Get to them at the 5. Feel that. Out of that, come to the back of the hands, placing the back of the hands down, and just lean into that, putting a little pressure on the back of the wrists. Now, if any of this is painful, don't do it. If you're in pain, don't do it. That's your body saying stop. All right, come back and shake that out a little bit. And we'll move into a couple of hip stretches. So I'm going to sit up on my cushion here and on my blanket, because I really want lots of padding under me today. If you notice, I'm in a sweater, I'm in comfy socks, because I like to be warm for this kind of a practice. So I'm going to extend my legs out a little bit here, just work it a little bit. Now something that you can do also is have a smaller cushion or a rolled up blanket or towel or something, or that you can stick up under your knee. All right, so I'm going to extend my right knee here. I'm going to take this ankle, and this is a little bit what we did in the stretching practice that I posted yesterday. But we're not going to be as intense because we're not going to have knee over knee with both legs out. We're just going to do one side at a time. So my left knee is over my right knee, all right? And I'm sitting up. I want to make sure my hips are slightly elevated, and then this foot comes out to the side here. And then normally we would really engage our muscles and find length in the spine and stretch chest out. But for this, I want you to just fold forward. You can go ahead and round your spine, let your head come forward, and you're just finding a little bit of a stretch in the hip, okay? Right in this outer hip here. It's not super intense. You're just relaxing. Upper body is totally relaxing. So the stretch is all in the hip. So we're just preparing the hips to go into a little bit of a deeper stretch. So go ahead and breathe into this one and hold. So the deeper you fall forward, the more stretch you're going to get in the back of the hamstring and the outer hip here. Find your breath. Let go of tension in jaw and shoulders. Breathe. Let go of those thoughts. They're going to come into your mind. Let them go. I promise. The dishes, the kids, the yard work, the stuff at your job, it's all going to be there when you're done here. It's not going anywhere. So just let it go for now. Just be. Just be here, right now. Breathe. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Clear your mind. Coming up out of that, we're going to switch that out. I'm going to bring this knee over. Okay. I'm going to just let go here. I'm just going to fold forward. Letting my body go. See, I'm so used to flexing into this stretch. See, I immediately want to flex my foot and engage my thigh. It's hard not to do that. And that's how it is in life. We go, go, go all the time, and we want to be going and moving and accomplishing. But guys, it's good to just let go sometimes. Just be. Take some time to fill your cup. Just relax. Rejuvenate. Get yourself ready. Because you can't keep giving to everybody if you're empty. So use this time to fill your cup. breath. And exhale, come on up out of that. Okay, I'm going to turn back this way. I'm going to move my cushions. Just going to lean back a little bit here and let my hips move side to side. Knees, windshield wiper a little bit just to take a little rinse here. Then we're going to move into a pretty deep hip stretch. This is pigeon pose, if you're familiar at all with this posture. If this is not accessible to you, you can take upside down pigeon, and I'll show you that right now. You're going to lie on your back, and you can get propped up with pillows, whatever you want. You're going to take ankle over knee, so your foot's hanging out to the side. Reach through, and then just hold here. Pulling in as deeply as you need to find that 5, that stretch, all right? So this would be where you want to go if the next posture I show you is painful or not accessible to you. And this is just as good. Do not get caught up in the idea that you've got to do exactly what I'm doing to do it right, all right? So this is a yin pigeon, and what I'm going to show you is using the rolled up sleeping bag. I really, really, really like this for a yin style pigeon. So I'm coming up and I'm bringing this foot across, all right? My heel comes toward my crotch here, all right? My other foot comes straight back, and I need to come a little bit forward because I want my knees on this blanket, because I want to pad it up, all right? Now I need to make sure that my hips are level, all right? So I'm going to take this cushion and stick it up under my butt so that I'm bringing the ground up to my behind on this side so that my hips are nice and level. Then to feel the stretch, I need to move this heel out just a little bit so that I am feeling the stretch in my outer hip. Now you can have it in as close to your body as you want. You're going to play with that, and then you're going to come down as low as you can to feel the stretch. So like this. And that's why I really, really like a rolled up sleeping bag here, because it prevents me from coming down too low. So in a normal pigeon, I would come all the way here. And this is a really deep outer hip stretch. But I don't want to do that today. I want to find just the 5, and just finding the edge. And a bolster, you can do this with stacked up pillows. And then just settle in and breathe into that outer hip stretch. Like I said, you want to be at about a 5. This foot is straight back behind me. My hips are square. I like it better with my face forward because that way my hips stay more square. So I could like stack my fists like this, that's an option. Then I just find the breath. tension you're feeling in your jaw or shoulders. Don't clench your butt. Don't lift your kneecap. Let that go. Don't engage those muscles. Just settle into the stretch. All right, go ahead and press up out of that. And to come out of it, I'm just going to sit back onto this hip. I'm going to bring my feet in front of me again, and I'm just going to windshield wiper. And you can do this if you were lying down doing this. Just come on up and windshield wiper, or stay on your back and windshield wiper. Just rinse that out, observe. How does that hip feel in comparison to the other one? How does it feel in comparison to before you started? Just observe. No judgment. All right, and then we'll go ahead and set up for the other side. If you're lying down, just take the other side, reach through, all right? You always do that. Or, I'm going to bring this foot in front of me. I'm going to send this leg straight back. Now you can see this a little better on this side. See how there's a gap right here? All right. A lot of people want to do pigeon like this. As I learned in my training, you should make sure that your hips and knees are protected, and you do that by making sure that you bring the ground to you. My hip cannot sit flat in this. It's just the way it is. Now my little daughters can, but I am 51 years old. I'm the mom of 8, okay? And if you can't do this at all, that's okay too. Lie on your back and do thread the needle. You're still getting a hip open. My back leg is straight out behind me, and then I adjust this, okay, where my leg comes in. My heel is coming toward my crotch, all right? You don't want to feel any tweaking in this knee. Get your hips good and square. Got my bolster here. So I'm going to come forward into it. And I don't want it to be super deep. That's why. So I want to keep my body up fairly high. Now I'm finding that by turning my head to the side, I'm not getting as deep a stretch because I want to stay forward. So I'm going to bring my head forward this way. And I'm going to stack my hands here. My leg is straight back, and then I settle into this pigeon pose. Finding the edge of the stretch right here in the outer hip. That's still not happening for me. So, there we go. That's what I needed. So you might have to play with it until you find what you need. Take a big inhale. Exhale, push yourself on, up and out of that. And to come out, I'm going to sit back onto this hip, swing my leg around in front, and I'm going to take that wash, that windshield wiper, back and forth. Into our final resting pose. So get really comfortable here. So for Shavasana today, because this is restorative yin, well, it's relaxing, it's yin, but now we're going to go into a restorative pose. So in a restorative pose, you don't want to feel any tension, no stretch, no pressure at all, none at all. So I'm going to get super comfy here. I'm going to throw a pillow back here. I've got this, and what I really like to do is I like to really bring my knees up. That just feels so much better for my low back. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to cover with a blanket. You guys, this is ooey gooey fun stuff, okay? I'm going to get covered with a blanket. My legs are up here. I'm nice and relaxed. And I like my little eye pillow right here on my eyes. So you do what you need to do to be comfortable. If you need to roll to the right, you need to lie on a couch. Shavasana, restorative Shavasana. Quiet body, quiet mind. Let your body absorb what you just did, the stretching and the relaxing. Now this is where I find I will start to tense up, especially my jaw. I'll find myself really clenching my jaw. So do a little full body check. Start at the top of your head. Come down your face, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Your tongue, let it come down from the roof of your mouth. Your teeth, don't press them together. Your neck. Tops of shoulders, down each arm into your biceps, forearms, wrists and hands, into your chest muscles, your ribs, your abdominals, your hips, your glutes, relax, don't tense up, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, and toes. Quiet body, quiet mind, Shavasana. Breathe. your mind starts to wander and you start to get a little fidgety, just say, come back to the breath. I'm coming back to the breath. Just focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale. That's all you have to do right now. Right now in this moment is just be and breathe. Slowly rub your thumbs over the pads of your fingers. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Your hands and your feet. Your arms and your legs. Breathe a little deeper. Your breath might have settled and quieted while you were lying there. Breathe a little deeper, moving slowly. Maybe take a big full body stretch. Reach your hands up over your head and stretch out. Maybe hug one knee into your chest and the other knee into your chest. Keep your eyes closed. And then go ahead and roll to the right. You can just let your eye pillow slide off. Just cradle your head and your arm. Little fetal position lying on the right side of your body. And take a second here to find gratitude. Gratitude for your body, for your mind, for your spirit. Gratitude to yourself that you just took a few minutes today to fill your cup and to rest and get yourself ready to go again. It's okay to do stuff for you. Gratitude for anything. Find something. And then we'll press on up to seated. Keep your eyes closed. Find a comfortable seat. Bring palms together at heart center. And set an intention. An intention for your day, maybe for your weekend. If you're watching this on a weekend, I like to practice yin and restorative yoga on the weekends. One thing you'd like to see happen or accomplish physically, mentally, spiritually, socially. One thing. Keeping your eyes closed, rub the palms of your hands together, create some heat, friction, and energy. Smile. Make yourself smile. Press those palms into your eyes and your forehead. Keep smiling. Drag those hands down your face and back to your heart center. Dip your chin and slowly blink your eyes open. Raise on up. Take your hands and press them right into your solar plexus, right into your abs and core, and say to yourself, I strive to be better physically. Right up here to your hands, to your head. I strive to be better mentally, and right on your heart. And I strive to be better spiritually every day. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. Thank you for practicing.